Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Live Magic Q&A Tea Party with Madame Pamita. And it meets up every Sunday, except for the first Sunday, at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern. We record this as a live free Zoom meeting every Sunday, except for the first Sunday, and I'll tell you why. And then post the recording later in the week or later on for a rewatch on YouTube. I'm going to try and get more on top of it and I might be able to get yours in a week or two. If you're watching a replay of this on YouTube and you want to get into the super secret clubhouse, the Spell Squad's clubhouse, so that you can be here with us live and ask questions about magic, law of attraction, spiritualism, tarot, spirit guides, divination spells, or any other magical thing that my guests and I know about, then you need to get in on being in the Spell Squad. All you have to do that is head over to spellsquad.com and sign up, and you'll get a link to our Zoom meeting, directions on how to join, and you'll get a free copy of my ebook, 7 Secrets to Supercharge Your Spell Work. You'll also get a little email every now and then from me, and you'll get email announcements with links about my guests, things that I have coming up, classes, and so on and so forth. In case you just stumbled upon this and you are wondering who I am, I'm Madame Pamita. And I have a shop called Parlor of Wonders, which you can find at parlorofwonders.com. You can find all kinds of things over there, including a bunch of free resources on learning magic. So you'll want to head over there and check out parlorofwonders.com. There's products to buy, there's readings you can get with me, and of course, lots and lots of things that you can learn for free. I've got videos, I've got a blog, I've got a podcast, I got all kinds of things over there that are free and free resources for learning about magic. Now, speaking of which, why did I say the first Sunday of the month we don't have the live magic Q&A? It's because the first Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, I have workshops going on. Those are paid workshops that are 90-minute to 2-hour really intensive workshops. They're very, very valuable, and they teach amazing things. The next one that's coming up is going to be November 1st, and it is Get Started with Candle Spells. It is a foundational candle magic class. So if you are feeling like, I want to know how to do a candle spell, I want to know how to create a candle spell from scratch, this is your class. It's not a class that's going to teach you a bunch of recipes. It's going to teach you how to create your own basic candle spell. It is an amazing class, and I am so excited for you to join me with it. It's going to be 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how many questions we have and how fast we go, but it is going to be a powerful and profound foundational education for you in candle magic. December 6th, which is the next first Sunday of the month, we're going to have advanced candle magic secrets. So we're going to build on that foundational knowledge and take you to the next level where you learn about numerology in candle magic, layouts in candle magic, how to do very special things with candle spells, and how to customize, do moving candle spells, and all kinds of things like that. If you want to know about candle magic, I also encourage you to buy the Book of Candle Magic. The Book of Candle Magic is my new book that just came out. It is an amazing resource full of illustrations and information teaching you how to do candle spells from the very, very basic to the very advanced. It's got a great appendix in the back that tells you what herbs you use for what spells, what gems you use for what spells. It is an amazing resource. So the Book of Candle Magic is available at all of your usual places, of course, my shop, Parlor of Wonders, Amazon, Llewellyn.com. It's also available from your local bookstore or your local metaphysical store. And I encourage you to support those local bookstores so that you can keep them going during this time when the bookstores themselves are struggling. So keep them going by ordering the Book of Candle Magic from them. You're going to get an amazing book, an amazing resource. It's going to be a master class in candle magic, but you're also going to be helping support those small mom and pop, pop and pop, whatever bookstores that we have out there. Keep those shops going because we really need them. We really need to keep those stores going so that when the pandemic is, we can move a little bit more and all of that, we have places to go to teach you. So that's the places that we can go and do those in-persons and teach you. So keep them going. And I'm really encouraging people to do that. So it just takes a little email or a phone call to them to make that order. It's a little more effort than pushing a button on Amazon, but if you can do it, you're going to help them. And I think Jeff Bezos is okay with his trillions of dollars. I don't know that he needs another trillion. He's got so much damn money. It's crazy. Anyway, our guest today, it's the reunion of the Madams. Oh my gosh, you don't even know. This is like, it's our annual get together. We get together in the beginning of October every year, don't we? Madame
We
Ozma,
do. We
which is
do.
this is the amazing Madame Ozma. Madame Ozma is a practicing witch, a card reader, a drag queen, and a proud trans woman. She enjoys entertaining on all levels and raising money for charitable causes. That's how we know each other, and I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Or we're going to talk about it. Annually in October, she holds Ozma's Witches Ball, of which I have been a guest and a supporter and a benefactor. I am always benefacting that. And she fundraises for trans organizations. We are so excited. I have been so, you don't even know, Madame Ozma, how I've been looking forward to getting together again. It's our annual tradition, getting together in
True.
October.
Likewise, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be here, Madame Pamita. It's lovely. I'm a little nervous, and look, it's already happening. My mouth's gonna do it. Somebody's posted about typos. Don't worry about typo, kids. It's the speech problems I have. But I'm thrilled to be here and talk about all this and
Oh my
into it.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, it is a delight to have you. So now, Madam Ozma, I have known you for a few years now. You came on my radar because originally, several years ago, you asked me about donating to the Witches Ball a prize. And I said, oh my gosh, I will gladly donate. I will gladly donate. And so I donated a gift basket with reading and some
A whole
candles,
bunch, a
things.
whole bunch of good stuff.
Yeah, so I donated, made up a gift basket, and every year you had the witch's ball, like for the first few years that I knew about it, you had it right around Halloween. Well, as a tarot reader, Halloween is like if you're a guy with a white beard and you play Santa Claus, December is a wipeout for you for
Hmm.
anything fun or social. It's like October is like that for me. And as I get closer and closer to Halloween, I get more and more slammed with doing parties and events and things
Yeah.
like that. And so I would always like people would book me like 2-3 months in advance to do a tarot reading for a party. And then you'd say, oh, I'm doing the witch's ball. And I'm like, I'm already booked for something. Well, last year you did something different. You booked the witch's ball early in October.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
like, and as soon as you let me know about it, I'm like, I'm blocking that day off. And I said, let me come down and let me do readings and let me do some fundraising, not only give a prize, but let me do some fundraising for you with my live presence there, because I so believe in the organizations that you support, that support for trans rights, the support for, trans lifeline and all the things that you are supporting. I'm 100% on board with that. So when the opportunity arose, because you made it a little bit early in the month, I was like on it like blue bonnet. And I said, let me come down and do readings. And it was the best time ever. I had
It was
such a great
super
time.
fun. I have to say thank you, by the way, because she came out of the kindness of her own heart. She's like, I'll donate my readings, whatever I make. We'll send it around like $20 or so, but negotiable. She was not going to turn anybody away, and she sure didn't. And people flocked to her, and she was going to do it for like a couple of hours. She stayed till I think about 2, almost closing. And I don't
I
know how
stayed the whole night.
you did, and we were partying too. I mean, but the question is, I have to ask you something because I've done them a few times actually at the Crest, and that's where I hold it usually. The Crest in Long Beach on Cherry Avenue, which is open right now actually from Wednesdays through Sundays. It's my home bar, and from 2 to 12, if you'd like to go, social distancing and masks, necessary, but call them up and find out. Just come support them. Please support them. But I used to do that for fundraisers. I used to do readings, and like $10, and I would get stuck there. I'd do as much as I could, but I would get so drained and I would turn into a zombie where I'd be sitting there drinking drinks, but could not get drunk. And I just felt like numb and over it by the end of the night. Like eventually around 12, people are like, oh, we're all drunk now. We don't want readings. But I was just like, God, how did you were so passionate. You've been doing this a lot longer than me, I do believe. So, but how do you not get drained? I want to know that. Is there a secret? Maybe tell me later, or I don't know. You did so much, and people were so
Well,
thrilled.
I have to say that one thing is parties energize me, because the general feeling at a party is people are happy, eager, and excited to
Mhm.
have a reading. They're generally not coming with heavy stuff, although it is surprising. Sometimes people come with really deep stuff that they want to talk about. And there are some times at parties that you're with someone and you're walking them through some really hard times. I mean, people are, even if they're at a party, they might be going through a hard time personally. But I think there's something first of all, I don't know. I'm going to say this to you. I don't know how you did readings and then run a party too. You can't do both. There's no way in heck that I would even take that on under circumstances.
I don't do it anymore. I don't.
Yeah,
If
you're a
somebody else is
crazy
throwing the
lady.
party, yeah. If somebody else is throwing the party, I'll do it. But I'm not dealing with all of it.
No. And when you're doing the witches ball and emceeing and doing the raffle and doing all the fun stuff, you cannot be in two places at once. And that's
You see me running around.
Oh my gosh, there's enough that you're doing that you wouldn't want to take it on. So I was happy to be there and support and be able to give this little fun extra and donate all my time. And of course, any money that came in went straight, to the Trans Lifeline and all the things that you were,
Over
the money was
$200
there.
of it.
Yeah,
Over
and
200
people were
bucks.
so generous. And I just let people
Yeah.
know, hey, we have a tip jar here. Any money that you donate is going to be there. And if they asked it for a suggested, I say, yeah, $20. And some people gave more, and some people, oh, I don't have it. And I'm like, that's fine. But we just had a great, great time. And it was so lovely to be able, it was such, it was such a crowd of love. You could feel the love in that room, that there was such a community, such love, and to be a part of that, that's energizing. It's something that, how could you not feel that? I'll tell you what drains me. What drains me is this is a secret, a tarot reader secret. What drains me is people who are naysayers, people who come and they're like, you see a reading and you're like, oh my gosh, this amazing thing. And they're like, that's not going to happen. That good thing isn't going to happen to me. And I'm like, oh my God. So negative Nellies, that's what's draining. And
you're
then
like, why the hell? You're like, why the hell did you do this? Why did you sit down?
Exactly.
I've had those.
From her reading, if you're not gonna like take the gift that's coming to you, but thankfully that hasn't happened too often. But it didn't happen at your party, that's for sure. And that's why I was able to just sort of have such a great time with everyone. It was so much fun, and everyone was so delightful. But I want to sort of preamble that into, now with COVID going on, you're doing something that's 4 times as amazing. What are you doing?
Okay, so because we're living in the time of COVID, we are doing, as me, so I'm more than one person apparently half the time.
The royal we, like the queen.
But we are doing the Witches Ball 2020, and it's a virtual one. We just had one, sort of, it was a soft opening, and me and my friend just talked about what was going on. My co-host Siren Halston, excuse me. And it's going to be happening on the Wednesdays in October. It's the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th at 8 p.m. Go to my Facebook page. It's Facebook/Madame Ozma, real easy to find. And it'll just pop up as a live video. And it'll be about 8 p.m., give or take connection time. But we're doing we're trying to do some jokes, some fun, have some special guests, do a little entertainment here and there. Like I have a bunch of queens that some you may know, some you may not know, are doing little videos and stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to figure out how to play them online. But otherwise, we're doing a big raffle. And how the raffle is working, since we're trying to keep everyone away from everything, not in person, it's online. So it's $5 for an entry, 3 for 10, and it goes to either my Venmo or my PayPal. And that would be, Venmo is Madame Ozma, real simple. And the PayPal is osmaswitchesball@gmail.com. And again, there's $5 for one, 3 for 10. And you can buy as much as you want. It's 3 separate events, and we're spreading all the prizes around. And if you buy them today, you got them for all of them. I mean, you can still keep buying more, how many you want to, and up to like the last date, the 28th, we'll probably take them. But I mean, the more you buy, the more you can win. And we keep them in the pot. What wasn't pulled stays in the pot. So the next time you might win. So do it. We have 4 or 5 gowns or costumes of your choice made by people who have done Drag Race stars, HBO. One of my friends just did Saturday Night Live. I guess Megan the Stallion. Yeah. Megan the Stallion. He did all the backup dancers' costumes for that, which saw on Saturday Night Live recently. He's big, so you could get these gowns that are like amazingly priced, and you get vouchers to them. So it's like $150, $200. We've got styled wigs. Delta Work is styling a wig. And Emmy-nominated Delta Work, famous for Drag Race and styling RuPaul's hair. And no tea, no shade, if you saw some of those wigs before when she had them, she didn't throw those wigs away. So she's amazing. To win an Emmy for that, God. But yeah, she's doing a styled wig too. We've got several people doing that. We got jewelry, we've got stones, and Madame Pamita is so graciously decided to give us 4 gift sets or gift certificates towards 30-minute readings. And since we already did a light one, we didn't really give anything away. I'm going to do 2 on the final night, the 28th. So we'll do 1 on the 14th, 1 on the 21st, and 2 on the 28th. And you really want those because I believe they're $120 value.
That's right. $120 value for a 30-minute reading. You get a 30-minute reading gift certificate that you can use anytime. It never expires. You can give it to a friend if you don't want a reading. It's just it's a code that you're going to get that you can apply anytime. It never expires. You can give it away, or you can do whatever with it, but it's a one-time code that you can use for a reading. So you're going to be giving away my readings, which is such a lovely thing to do. I want those gowns and I want that wig.
Oh yeah. We have several wigs, several gowns. We've got a bunch of jewelry. We've got a bunch of nails. We've got beautiful gift sets from I believe it's Arcane Light Co. and I'll mention them later, but beautiful sets of crystals and stones and like pyramids and stuff and amazing things. And just check out my my Facebook page. It's Facebook/Madame Ozma. I'll be posting on there. That's where they'll be streamed through Zoom live on the Wednesday nights. And also please check out my Instagram. It's Instagram at Madame Ozma. And I've been posting pictures for the flyers, pictures of the prizes, more of the information for the raffles is written there, written right down so you can figure out how to do it. And basically all the money we're raising this time is going towards the Unique Women's Coalition. And that is an organization here in Los Angeles that helps primarily Black trans women or trans women of color with what do they need, like just getting everything together for them, specifically because, speaking as a trans person, a white trans person, look, there are sisters, and there's a way to know that your privilege is me being a white trans woman. I ain't afraid of cops. I am not afraid of cops. I'm not worried about them doing shit to me. But the rest of us don't have that lovely privilege. So they need a little more help, and we need to be there for them. And until we can get everything correct in this world, I mean, we can. I know we can. Just it takes some time. But until then, let's focus on our Black trans sisters. Let's get them what they need to survive. Not only to survive, I hate to say survive, but to flourish and grow and not have to worry about the things that they do at the moment. So let's get that. So and it's the uwc.org if you would like to donate there. Also, if you don't want to do raffles, you can also just donate towards it. It doesn't matter. But the uwc.org and has all their information and stuff and how to donate there in different ways and all that good stuff there too. So yeah.
So good. So good. I was so excited about that when I saw that as well, because I really do. And you have the same attitude that I do, which is I want to see that world. I really hold that vision of that world where everyone's uniqueness is celebrated. It's not tolerated, it's celebrated. That we look at all the different flavors of humanity and we celebrate those differences instead of like, well, I've got mine or my way is the right way and your way is the wrong way.
Completely.
And I mean,
the thing is, like, you don't have to date me, but you also don't have to hate me. Like, it's not that serious. I'm not here to take your man. Well, sometimes maybe somebody, but
what if I want to date you? Hey.
I'm picky. And see, that's where I go like, well, I'm very specific of what I want. So that's when I get a little, you know how it is.
Well, I can have an unrequited love for you, Madame Ozma.
That's fine. I love Judy Garland, but I'm not about to dig her up and, pounce on her. I might steal any drugs that are left in her coffin, but
Well, I feel like this is such an important thing, and it's like really important for us to support this amazing event. That is just, I want to give the essence of what this event is about, and it's such a gift from your heart. You worked so hard on this event all year long in preparation for it. You worked so darn hard, and it's the Madame Ozma show. It's like you're doing all of the work, and people kind of don't realize how much work it is. Like it is so much work, and you're doing it all. And yet it is a complete gift of love and a complete gift of your heart. And what you do is I just want to acknowledge that, because, it may be
Thank
a
you.
fun time. It may be all of this that people are looking at, or maybe they're looking at like, yeah, I'm going to donate my money to
Mm,
some good organization, a worthy organization. But it really is something that is such a beautiful love. It's like you give them money, but you give love too, which is such an amazing
thank you.
gift. Yeah.
I will say one thing on that note. I mean, it is the Ozma show, but I mean, it couldn't be done without all the people, including yourself, who are such generous supporters. This year, it's almost always a struggle every year to do it. And this year, honestly, I wasn't going to do the witches ball. I was so brought down about not having Halloween. I mean, well, having Halloween. Halloween cannot die. That's not.
Yeah.
It's not how it's. I don't trick or treat anyway. I can go be drunk in my house and have like 2 people over. It doesn't matter. Halloween will go on, but it's still a little depressing. So I wasn't going to have it. But I literally one Saturday I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And I was like, this kind of came to me. I was just started messaging people. Delta was one of the first people. She immediately was like, I'll do a wig. I'll go live with you, whatever you need. Other people, after just posting about it, they were just immediately like, I have this gift set for you. I have this, you. And also I want to thank Siren Halston, my co-host, because she's helping me push through this. And, sometimes I like to get a little drunk and a little, and she'll keep it on track because she's a great hostess. She's always done, drag hosting and stuff. And she kind of holds the glue together. And I'm so glad to have her as a co-host this year to help me keep sane and keep me going. Because otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do it. So it's the Ozma show, but there's a lot of people behind Ozma. She's a big lady. There's a lot of people holding my ass up.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to them.
I have to say, you're a wild child. You are a party girl. So there's no doubt about that.
Careful about my lives on Instagram, kids. Oh, also, I have to say one more thing. I know yesterday you promoted and tagged me on my my Twitter. I want to warn everybody on Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, it is an 18 and older Twitter. You won't see me naked, but you might see a lot of dicks. So, so careful. That's warning. Everything else is safe. Instagram, there's no wieners or anything. Facebook, no wieners.
Twitter's a free for all.
It is. So it's you're warned. You're warned. It's 18 plus on that one. So I mean, you can enjoy if you enjoy them too. Go look at all the dicks. But otherwise, yeah, you're warned.
Solicited dick pics on Madame Ozma's Twitter.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, should I block her? What should I do? And I was all, they're here. Let them see the dirt on the carpet.
Fine. This is one thing I want to talk about before we get to the questions. So we have some great questions that are already coming up, and I want to get to those. But I want to talk about your name, Madame Ozma. So do you want to tell the lore and legend of where your name came from? What is the name Ozma?
Of course. Okay, so first, Madame, because I run a whorehouse. I'm the only whore, so it's not very good. It's more of a box in the alley, but no, I'm kidding. So Ozma is a character from the L. Frank Baum Wizard of Oz books. And not many people know them. You might know of her. She's been mentioned in a couple of cartoon series, one anime, but also the Return to Oz movie made by Disney in, I believe, 85. And it just turned 35 this year, I think in August. And she is a character in that movie. And it's a little different. The character in the movie is a little different than the book character. But literally, I chose the name because I started doing drag. It was my first drag show. And I went by my government name. For a while, I didn't give a shit. I was like, yeah, I'm a lady with this name, boom. But Jules, Miss Jules of Long Beach, if you're Long Beach natives here, I think there's a few of you in here. Miss Jules of Long Beach said, no, you need a name. You need to figure out a name. I was 7 days away. 2 days before, I was like, what am I doing? And I just watched Return to Oz. I was like, okay, I'm either gonna be Mombi, the name of the witch, or Ozma. And Ozma is the princess of Oz, or the queen of Oz, however you want to look at it. And I chose Ozma. Well, it stuck, and originally it was Lady Ozma. And it stuck, and later on, just messing around on Wikipedia, I was like, I'm gonna learn some more about the Ozma in the books. Well, in the books, Ozma was kidnapped by the wizard when he first showed up in Oz and given to Mombi because he didn't want his throne usurped. He wanted to be the ruler. And she was an infant this time, and he gave her to Mombi. He said, here, hide this kid so no one can find it. Mombi transformed Ozma into a boy named Tip. So for a large portion of her life, she was a he named Tip and lived as a slave. And she eventually made Jack Pumpkinhead and eventually joined the Road to Oz and found everybody and found Glinda. And Glinda's like, oh no, Glinda, child, you're not. You are Ozma. And you're like, what? She's like, no, boom, turns the kid back. And boom, here's Princess Ozma. Also, another weird thing is in the Road to Oz, everyone's going to the Emerald City after all this. Everybody knew about Ozma, and she's been reestablished as the Queen of Oz. They're going to celebrate her birthday at the Emerald City. And in that book, her birthday lands on August 21st. Well, I thought that's my birthday. So it was this weird kismet reaction. So you have the gender trans thing going on. You have the same birthday. I'm a little obsessed with green. I love poppies. Those are my favorite flower, the national flower of California, the state flower, national, state, yeah. But I love poppies. And I love opium. The smell, not the taste.
I love the opium opium. Oh my God, we can have a whole conversation about that. But go on.
But so that's where it came. It stuck, and I've always loved Madams in history. I think the name Madame is amazing. And I remember I started talking to her, I was like, because I didn't go by Madame Ozma on my my Instagram at the time, and I was like, oh, I hope she didn't think I changed it because of her. Like, I'm not trying to get on her thing, but I was like, oh no, I've been that way for a minute. But yeah, that's where Madame Ozma comes from.
No, and you know what? I gotta say something about those books. So if you're a person that has just seen the Wizard of Oz movie with Judy Garland and all of that, and you're kind of interested, I would encourage you to read the books. The books are, first of all, completely psychedelic. They're crazy and psychedelic and amazing. But L. Frank Baum's mother was a feminist. And when he wrote those books, he wrote them with such a progressive mindset, like such a progressive mindset. One of the things that I found in The Road to Oz, which is the second book, I say The Wizard of Oz is the first book, and then The Road to Oz, you're introduced to that boy Tip. There's nothing that tells you that he's not a boy. He goes through his life, goes through this adventure, and then the reward that he gets is he's returned to his true form. And then Glinda reveals to him that he was really a princess and Mombi had charmed him to make him into a boy. But there's nothing, what I love about it, it's like, this is his boon. This is his gift. It's not that change from one gender to the other is seen as a bad thing or a weird thing or, oh no, how am I going to function? She falls into her female form and is like, oh, this is awesome, right? And that comfortableness with that switching genders and changing gender from male to female, written in the early part of the 19th century, mind you, is incredibly progressive. I defy you to find a book, maybe there are books now coming out, but a book 5 years ago, you would never find a book like this. And here's this book from the 1900s, early 1900s, that is looking at gender as like being turned into a girl is your gift. You're turned back into a girl. And I think about all the children that the trans kids who throughout the 20th century and beyond have read this book and were like, oh my gosh, this is actually okay. Like, I'm okay. There's not something wrong with me. And that just warms my heart to think that L. Frank Baum wrote that book and that there were kids who were like, oh my gosh, my wish that I was not the gender that I've been categorized, but that I was another gender or no gender can be true and can be real and can be a gift. And it can be, that hope that book, I'm sure, gave to many people who were queer in whatever way, because I think the whole idea of if you're gay and you're different and ostracized and outsider or different than other people, this book would give you that kind of beautiful hope and support and make you feel okay about yourself, when the world says you're not okay,
Oh, completely. I will say that it's like, I wish I would have found out that sooner rather than just having the movie version of Ozma in mind, because that's not addressed at all. And I remember, mind you, I found this as an adult, but then I was like, God, this would have been so much more, at least a hope as a child, to be like, I can be what I really am someday. If I just, it'll happen eventually. So it's great that way.
Your fairy goddess mother will come and tap you on the wand.
Completely.
And then...
Completely. And which is crazy.
It kind of happened that way, didn't it?
It is, yes. And then you find out in the books later on, she's part of, Ozma's more than just the Queen of Oz or Princess of Oz. She's also a fairy princess and a daughter of the goddess, Lurline, the great queen of the fairies, who is the goddess who created all of Oz and its surrounding little places like Ev and I think Nor, other places. But yeah, it's interesting. There's a whole dynamic with deities and stuff to it. So It's
Oh
pretty
my gosh.
crazy.
They're amazing books. So I encourage people, if you have kids, read them to your kids. They're great.
They're
They're
free.
amazing. Yeah.
Kindle has them for free. You can find them on just online, looking them up. They have them free to read, or Kindle has them download for free.
Oh my gosh, it's so they're so good. They're so, so good. And they're just magical books. And I just
Hmm.
really delved into them and loved them so much. I want to, there was something else I was going to say, and I named my cats Glinda and Ozma because they're the witch and the princess. And boy, oh boy, that princess is a princess. She really rules the roost here. They both boss me around. I'm like the servant of the damn cats in this house. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's look at some questions. I see we got some questions. So I'm going to go down. Everybody's happy to be here and saying hello to all of us, saying hello to you. So sweet. Um, all right. Uh, all right, so let's talk about this. Before I think James Devine came in, and James was asking this question before we started talking about, the gender identity stuff. But Madam Ozma, I have a question, but it assumes an identity. I'm not sure how you identify trans, drag, etc. My question is about the overlap of drag and magic, and the overlap between trans and magic. So let's talk about both, because I think you're obviously well versed in both. This is something that you.
I like to think so. First of all, I have to tell you guys, like, look, someone asked earlier what I was having. I am having a margarita, you're right. But I had to show you, it's in a candle glass. So when you guys do your candles, if it's not bad shit, or if you, like, look how beautiful this lovely St. Martha was. Now it's a drink glass, a very large drink glass. Isn't that fun?
I love that.
Just wash it out, boil water, clean it out, do that. So when it comes to, oh God, it's not a hard question. It's just, a lot.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. There's so many queens. There's so many trans who are into it. It goes back. I don't know. I'm not a historian, but many cultures all over the world. You can look it up anywhere now. Even like Greek cultures back in the day that don't exist anymore. When it came to people who are like what some would call in the Native American two-spirited, other people like third sexed. And it doesn't mean that you have to have the wrong genitalia, or I won't say wrong genitalia, but have like some people are intersexed or true hermaphrodites. Whereas me, I was born male, biologically male, but I've always been a woman in my mind, in my body. So I say soul gendered more than anything. I have some theories on stuff where I do believe that spirits can be malleable. And I think some spirits, whatever life you're in, tend to be more on the feminine side, and some spirits tend to be more on the masculine side. So I think in my head, that's the reason why we have lesbians and gays too. But they're just not fully like, well, I can adapt to this. I just don't need to be a woman. Me, I'm like, no, she's a woman. So a lot of times in those cultures, those people, when they weren't turned away or harassed or removed from the community, which wasn't super often back then, they were, either village elders, sometimes chieftains, spiritual workers, the priestess, the priest, those who would live sometimes both lives. They would live literally both aspects of the gender doing different things. And they see that as being whole, where, some are just primarily male, some are just primarily female. They see that as like a connection and a wholeness. So they became like holy people. And they did kind of work a little bit to their advantage. So I do believe, like, I've always had, as a child, I was always obsessed with witches. I was always, originally the ugly witches. I always wanted to be a hag on Halloween, never pretty. But I always wanted to be just the apple in the hand and just that horrid apple. I love it.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites. But, the crone, I'm always a crone. I'm a crone. I'm a beautiful crone, but I'm inside, trust me, I'm a crone. But, I've always been drawn to it. And, it just seems to be something that's inept in me. Having more belief, maybe a little more imagination, maybe seeing things, feeling things that other people can't sense or feel. And in that aspect, I just believe that it's an awakening, even if they don't know. If anyone's here has seen a lot of trans movies or drag movies, there's a lot of underground ones like, let's see, Stonewall, not that one, that terrible one that came out where they made that little white boy the hero. The original Stonewall was a bunch of drag queens and stuff. They had like a ceremony when a new girl, became a woman or be part of the drag queens little clique. They had candles everywhere. They had a whole ceremony for it. You'll see queens like, in Tu Wong Fu, they're practically praying to Julie Newmar. They're carrying her icon around. There's like a weird spirituality to it. Lighting candles, putting on makeup. is a spiritual act. Makeup is magic. You're transforming. If you'd see me under this, and you will sometimes, if you follow my Instagram, drunk at like 3 a.m, I don't look like this usually. You know, it's a transformation. You know, it's a magic act of doing that and learning and evolving and changing your form or showing your true form inside. You know, and for me, putting on makeup is quite a meditation. I have my music on, you know, I have sometimes I have incense, not in the summertime, but incense or candle burning. You know, you get yourself in a mode. So that's a type of meditation in itself, I think, putting on makeup. So you're connecting with, you know, things. And you know, we wear perfumes. Well, perfumes we all know are divine and they can be used for things. I make my own magical perfumes. I'm gonna try to release them sooner or later. I have them going on. But you know, with herbs and stuff like that, it's a fragrance. That's a transformation too. You know, just sometimes, you know, one of my tricks is I use my foundation or my powder, my setting powder. I will put certain other powders, magical powders, hoodoo powders, a little bit in there and mix it with them. You want to check it yourself first, so don't get rashes or anything. So be careful with what you use. But I'll use a little, like, you know, Follow Me Boy or you know, Glamoury, just stuff like that to do things like that. And in that way, I think the transformation itself is the magical process. And I think it's second nature for trans people and drag queens because they're so used to changing and evolving and also in a way being, you know, persecuted and having to stay hidden and watch your P's and Q's around certain people rather than getting, you know, hung or burned. You know, it's very that. So I think in that way, it's we just have a little bit of a head start. Everyone's different, but I think it's a little more inept. I know a lot of queens, several queens from Drag Race that you all know. I won't out them, but I know a few of them that are witches that are friends of mine. I know several trans friends that are very into it. And sometimes it's, you know, they just read cards, or sometimes they're full on, you know, a hoodoo lady or just, you know, they're sitting crystals. They're connecting though, and they learn things.
I think it's such, I mean, I think if we look, there's a beautiful history that's being kind of delved into and being brought to the surface. And only in the last decade or so where we're starting to see that the unique ones of a group, a tribe, a culture. You know, if we think about ancient times, it was tribal cultures everywhere, all over the world. It was, when we say tribe, we don't just mean Native American tribe. Everybody lived in a tribe, right? Whether you're in Ukraine, whether you're in, you know, in Mongolia, wherever you are, there's a tribe, right? So you're living in these small communities, and some, I think the vast majority of small communities, when you had someone who was different, a lot of times those people were seen as special, blessed, sacred. And we can see that if you were different than someone else, maybe your hair was red hair and no one else in the tribe had red hair, and all of a sudden this red hair gene comes out, you're seen as special and different. And the, I would say the more enlightened view of that would be that you were specially blessed, and that if you're specially blessed, you have gifts. You might have gifts of magic or gifts of healing or gifts of psychic awareness or something like that, and that those gifts were developed. And I think that we see in people, you know, like this, we're starting to find more and more of that. I think honestly too, that a lot of the suppression of LGBTQ suppression started to really come about in Victorian times. Before Victorian times, even as soon as, like, I would say, you know, 20 years before the Victorian era started, in the, you know, in the mid 1800s, you know, Abraham Lincoln was writing love letters to his male friend. It wasn't seen as unusual to have that love. Now, whether it was expressed sexually or not, we probably will never know. But the fact that you could have this maybe romantic connection, or this you know, romantic feelings towards someone of the same gender, or that you were different or wore different clothing, I think we see more of that being seen as unique rather than vilified. And I think it wasn't until the Victorian times up until the present day where there's a trying to control energy, that we see that more of that control of, we want you to walk this narrow pathway, and if you're outside of this pathway, you're evil. Now there's some of that, of course, going on in like the witch burnings and things like that, but I think those are more, may have something to do with being different or an outsider in some way, but probably a lot of it had to do with, you have something that I want and I want it, and so I'm going to say
fully. I fully agree. I fully agree with that. And mind you, I was there. So I mean, I am that old, you guys. I don't look it, but I was there. So I know, I can tell you it was very, You know, it was great for a minute. It was a great party. And then bam, you know, screw you guys.
Yeah.
Here's some corsets and here's some this and screw you. So.
Yeah. So I think that, you know what, I think that in that, understanding that, I think, envisioning this way of actually coming back to the place that we look at each individual and look at their gifts and whatever those
Mhm.
gifts are, and we celebrate those gifts. I mean, we can get in, of course, into all the LGBTQ. We can get into all sorts of race and anything else that you want to get to, and celebrate those ways of celebrate those special things, right? But I also think about things like people of differing abilities. People who may, like an example is like someone who has Down syndrome. They may not have the quote unquote intelligence, like
Mhm.
the intelligence up, to do, I don't know, calculus, which I can't do either. But
Same.
but there's a gift in many people who have Down syndrome are so empathic and so
So
compassionate
loving.
and
I've
so
never,
unconditionally loving,
no
right?
people have ever loved hugs more.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody.
And so you look at someone with Down syndrome, and instead of focusing on what they can't do, you focus on how exceptional they are at a certain part of the human experience. So I think in looking at that, we can see these really beautiful, rare, except everybody has exceptional gifts to bring to.
I will say this on that aspect that touch on Down syndrome or anybody with learning disabilities or chromosomal type things. It happens. It happens, and the thing is, quite honestly, I love my friends and things, but I'd rather be in a room full of Down syndrome people because I'd feel more fun. I'd have more fun, and they'd be kinder and sweeter, and that they wear. If you ever watched Autism in Love or Dating on the Spectrum on Netflix, they tell you right, oh, I don't like you, thanks. They're not being mean. They just tell you right then and there. Those are the cool people. And the thing is, people see them as being
Disabled.
disadvantaged,
Yeah.
disabled. The problem is that they're not looking at themselves going, well, maybe they're just, like they say, differently abled. I mean, look what they can do. They can express themselves in ways, once they learn it more and they're helped after a while, they can express themselves easily compared to the rest of us who are hiding things, playing nice to people's faces, doing see things behind people's back. Like I you know what? I just admire them. I think it's amazing, and I do think that they have a touch, especially the empathy. Like it's they know if you're having a bad day, they know. And I remember when I used to work, I used to work at a horrible place called Walmart years ago, and I worked in the electronics department, and I used to joke about it. I would always, if anybody had a disability, they would find me and ask me for help. And I used to joke to my friend, I'm like, girl, I don't understand what it is. And she would joke, she's like, well, girl, you're their queen. You know that, right? I would like laugh it off, but she's like, no, seriously, in all seriousness, they can sense you. And they know that you're not going to be mean to them. You're not going to laugh at them. You're not going to treat them or talk down to them. Even though inside I'm crying because I'm like, I feel so bad. That's such a crappy way that we think ourselves, because we're like, oh, this poor person. Well, not this poor person, just treat them as a person.
Yeah.
So, it's they're drawn. They know more things. They sense things. They see things. So it's stop worrying about the disables, like the not the lack of ability, and know what you're lacking and what they do have. That's the thing. And the way people look at us like, oh, you're monsters. You're crazy. You're two genders. You're this, or ooh, you're gay. Oh, you're going to hell. You're going to hell. You don't. They everyone's downtrodden, but we have all the power. In a way.
Yeah. And I think it's so lovely to be in a world where there is all of that great, the bigger the palette, the more colors there are, the more flavors there are. Like, why is that is the best thing of all to have that diversity, to have all of that diversity and all of it. It's like when you're looking at a garden, you don't want to see, you don't want to see identical flowers like you've been, cutting and pasting them on
Photoshop or something.
Photoshop. I couldn't think of the
Mhm.
program. Like Photoshop, but you want to see the uniqueness. This one has a few more petals. This one's a little bit of a different color. This one's taller. This one's shorter. All of those things, I think, as you look at that and you start to think in that way, that's the way of spirit. That's the way of true spirit, is to be truly accepting and loving, and not only saying, okay, I'll sit next to you, but like going like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. I want to know more about you, and I want to experience.
Don't judge a book. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Don't let your first initial instincts, because of what society has pushed on you about people who are just differently abled, people who are trans, people who are gay or whatever, or people who are black or what a woman. You know, there's so many of that. Don't
Or
let what you're
a
a
witch.
witch. Oh God, I still love saying that to people, and they're like, I mean, now it's completely great, but I used to have people like, oh, like, bye. Like, oh, well, bye, sweetie. I guess you're not getting any help. Let me know when the ghosts come after you. Like, but it's that. You know, don't judge people. It's hard. We're humans, and look, not to be rude, but humans are shitty, and we're set, and we have a certain mindset, and we're very selfish, and we're very judgmental. You gotta push past that. You gotta fight that. Fight the ego. You gotta fight the ego.
And it's an ongoing project, you know, and like I have my issues about that, but my issues are like Trump supporters. I have a real problem, you know, and I have to kind of like kind of just distance myself from it for a minute, and then maybe I can get to the place where I can be like seeing them one-on-one, but I can kind of,
it's hard.
That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other topic.
It is.
We have some magic questions. Let's get to some magic questions. Stephanie asked the question, I did it. No, have you ever done 7-day spells? Like a 7 candle? Okay. I did a 7-day this is a come to me spell. I did a come to me spell over 7 days, but I forgot a day, but I did burn it all down. So when I got done, I went ahead and did another come to me 7-day in pink. Okay. So I think the question is kind of answered in there.
Yeah, it's answered. Here's the thing. I mean, magic is, for the most part, especially when it's positive like that, it's pretty forgiving. Magic is pretty forgiving. And, you know, and also remember with magic, if it doesn't work the first time, doesn't mean stop and give up. It means try again, but maybe see what you did. You know, back in the day, I used to, when I first started getting into witchcraft and stuff, I was really into Silver Raven Wolf books. And for some people, she's very controversial. I think she's great. She's a little fluffy. There's more fluffy people. But, you know, it's always about record keeping. What did you do? When did you do it? Although that timing's not a big deal for me. But when it comes to like, what herbs did you use? Check your stuff. This is how, you know, magic is kind of a science, and it's how we learn. And you know, what's the first time you put on makeup? Did you look great? I sure didn't. Practice, practice, practice. Boom, magic. Keep going. Do it. I think you did fine.
It's amazing, by the way. I'm mesmerized by that eyeshadow. It's gorgeous, and a gorgeous color with that hair. It's amazing.
Thank you.
I think that's a great point. It's like, if you have a spell and something goes wrong, it's going to just be a flop, but not send something backwards. And sometimes people think if I do a spell and it does, let's say I do something wrong, I miss a day or I do something, it's okay. I always say, well, kind of give it some time, and maybe it worked anyway. But if you really can't give it some time and you need to work on it right now,
I've done a 7-day. I've done a 7-day and it happened in 3 days. Yeah. Did I keep it burning? Yeah, I let it burn. Might as well keep it working. But I mean, it's already started. Don't give up on it, I should say. And also, you know, I'm not going to get into this rule of 3, the law of threefold and all that stuff. That's for each person to like. Karma is way more complicated than people make karma to be. And it's not necessarily this life. I mean, you know about this, your past life stuff. So, and I don't want to get into all of that. But the thing is, you're not going to get in trouble for that. When you start working the dark stuff, there's other reasons and there's other things to worry about. But, you know, it's pretty forgiving, and, you know, it kind of knows what you need. And honestly, if it's not meant to be, the universe will be like, nope, period. So work different ways. There's loopholes too. Careful with those.
Yeah. You know what? The interesting thing, you pointed out something that I keep kind of, I don't know, preaching about. I don't know what's really preaching, but witchcraft is not a religion. Wicca is a religion that uses witchcraft, but witchcraft itself is not a religion.
You can be Wiccan and not do magic.
Exactly. You can be Wiccan and not do magic. But magic is very much incorporated into Wicca. However, you could be a Catholic witch, you could be a Jewish witch, you could be an agnostic witch, you could be an atheist witch, you could be a humanist witch, you could be a Muslim witch. You can be whatever you want, or no religion at all, and still practice witchcraft.
Witchcraft is an art. It's an art. It's a masonry. It's a practice. It's a study. It doesn't. And I would, if anything, I would define myself. Originally, I'd say eclectic because I pull from different things. Whatever works, I'll use. Yeah. If I find it works, use. But I would say a Catholic witch because I do a lot of work with the saints, and I was born and baptized Catholic, so I know a few of those things too. So I'd say that. And you know, I mean, it doesn't.
Polish, by any chance?
I am Polish.
I am Ukrainian, but Galician, which is right on the border. My grandmother was from, which now is Poland, but then Galicia at that time. And so we have to talk about this.
We do, and that's why we both have a mutual love and admiration for Baba Yaga.
Yeah,
and sometimes in other circles I go around as Baba Ozma. So
I love it. I love it. So in that whole situation, I say, you know, witchcraft itself does not have a rule of three. Some religions, including perhaps Wicca or Wiccan, one of the Wiccan traditions, will say the rule of three. But the rule of three is not something that exists. It's something that is a belief that you have if you follow a certain path. But witchcraft itself doesn't have that. Witchcraft itself is free. It's free for you to adapt in any way that you want. So if you want to work with saints, work with saints. If you want to work with Jehovah, work with Jehovah. If you want to work with, the great
Astarte or
spaghetti
something. Yeah.
monster, yeah, the great spaghetti monster, do that. But the point of it is, you're free to decide your ethics for yourself. It is not, we are so used to religion giving us ethical things that I think that really is that where that came from. There,
Yeah.
your ethics are decided by you. So if you want to do coercive magic, which is influencing someone else with your will, and you're okay with it, it's within your ethics, then go for it. But if your ethics or your ethics that you create with your guides or your gods or goddesses or whoever say coercive magic is not good, then don't do it. But it's not for someone else to tell you don't do coercive magic or do coercive magic, or it's okay or not okay. I say everyone has to decide their ethics for themselves.
True.
So for me, I don't do breakup spells under exception. There's some exceptions that I do if there is a committed couple and there's an outside party and the committed couple person wants to get rid of the outside party. Then I may do a breakup spell. But because you want to go out with Johnny and Johnny's going out with someone else and you think you should be with Johnny, I won't do that spell. I won't touch it because that's my ethics that I have with
None of my
spirit
business.
guides.
That's none of my business. What you
Exactly.
doing? None of my business. That's your own
Exactly.
problem.
Exactly. So but someone else may decide, hey, I'll break up anybody here, there, and everywhere. I'll curse anybody here, there, and everywhere. I'll hex anybody anywhere and everywhere. If that's their decision, that's their decision. So magic is a blank canvas that you get to decide and a tool that you can use within your own ethical standards. So you brought up a great point about that rule of three. A rule of three is something that's handed down from someone. If you believe it, it probably is going to apply to you. If you don't, if that's not part of your ethics, it's not going to apply to you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Completely.
So, all right. James wants to know what you drinking. Yum, Ozma, is that a margarita? Yes, that's a margarita. Yep. A heck of a one. St. Martha's margarita. Hey, is it margarita? No, Marta is Spanish for darn it. You need a Santa Margarita. Holly has a question about cleansing. I've been doing banishing, cursing spells and been feeling energetically negative. Have not been doing any type of protection, and now I'm feeling spiritually dirty. Mm-hmm. On a similar note, if my house has negative energy, how does that affect my spell work? All right, so
okay, so I saw that one. I'm gonna let you take over after this too. But I'm gonna say a few things. Okay, so being a Catholic witch or a practitioner of hoodoo style things or a collective or folk magic, I use the Bible a lot with things, and there's a lot of great verses in the Bible, including there's curses in the Bible. There's everything. There's everything. You know, it's granted, I do believe it's a fairy tale for the most part, but it's a great fairy tale. And whether I truly believe in what's being said doesn't matter as long as I know it works. That's the thing. If it works, why fix it? Like Delta says, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to keep it clean. Yeah. What I know there are some Psalms. I'm off the top of my head. I believe it's either Psalm 151 or Psalm 191. One of those. I should have wrote this down earlier because I just saw that a while ago. And one speaks about hyssop, and hyssop is a really, really strong cleansing herb. I would definitely, for one part of it, make some hyssop tea. Use that to cleanse yourself in a bath or a shower. Cleanse your body. Cleanse your home. Cleanse your quarters. You know, wherever you live. And also, when you're doing, I don't know that banishing is negative, and that you necessarily need precautions for banishing. But banishing is, I mean, think about, say you have a really dirty kitchen and you're pulling out, you know, the creatine and all this stuff, like to get off the floor, and you're like, oh, here's my simple green in this, and you're scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, and you clean all day and you're done. It's finally clean, but you're tired, you're working, you have to shower. Think of it that way. Cleaning is dirty work, so you need to wash yourself. So you always have to cleanse yourself after doing so. You want to, whatever you're getting rid of, you know, you need to get rid of that stuff. So cleansing baths, some vinegar, some 4 thieves vinegar. I make my own. There's recipes everywhere. I prefer to do that. Also great for protection around the house, and also get rid of people. Get rid of If it's a specific person, great to get rid of people that way. Yeah, there's a lot of ways, I mean, some people do egg cleansings. I've been known to do that. My friend Siren, who also hosts, I'm not saying she's a witch or anything, but she's done egg cleansing. She knows certain things that have been taught through her family, and she's done cleansings on me. There's simple ones like that. I mean, sometimes it's just some prayer and a Florida water. I love Florida water. It's always very cleansing. It's refreshing. It takes away and also brings back energy. So in that aspect, I do those. Just cleanse the house. People are very about sage. I personally don't think sage is that great. I think it's a little overused, but it can be done. But I also try to get something like dragon's blood, which strips things away. But after you do something like that, like dragon's blood, the house, incense, or it's, what would you say? It's the shards
resin,
or whatever.
The resin.
Yeah. Cleanse the place, get it smoked up real good, let the windows close and let it open up. Don't kill yourself. Don't smoke yourself out. But after that, put a cleansing like a rose incense, or copal is my favorite, because copal is a very holy herb and it's a very cleansing and protecting herb. So, some dragon's blood, then copal, and just, it smells amazing. And you'll start finding that things, and also catch your closets, your cabinets, get that up in there. Things like to hide in there. I'm not saying demons or ghosts, but thoughts and energy can become things like thought forms.
Sadness, anger, all of those things can stick around.
This is why schools, hospitals, insane asylums, jails, prisons, all those places have a whole bunch of energy, tend to be haunted or seem to be haunted by something, because there's a lot of leftover energy there from that become, they're attracted to more energy, and they will do whatever they can to get what they need from you, those negative entities or things. So yeah, I think that answered a little bit.
That totally answers it. In fact, that's what I was going to recommend, is hyssop. And hyssop is such a great all-around herb. I mean, I think every witch should have some hyssop. You can make it into a tea to drink. You can make it into a tea and sprinkle or spray it around your home. You can burn it on charcoal and fumigate your home. So there's lots and lots of ways. You could sprinkle it under your carpets and just sort of leave it there. If you have a rug that you can lift the corner of. There's lots of ways that you can use hyssop, and hyssop is a really great, powerful, very ancient cleanser, because if it is written about in the Bible and it was used before biblical times, and it's written about in the Old Testament, it's thousands and thousands of years ago that people have been using hyssop. So hyssop is a great one. I would just say a go-to for that. If you've been doing any kind of hard work, hard punitive work, or banishing work that's really like you said, makes you drained. Madame Ozma says makes you drained. It's a way to just kind of wash away the cares, wash away the day.
Just do it all the time. Give yourself a nice good cleansing about once a week. One thing I like to do is I like to add some Florida water to my shampoo and conditioner, or I'll use oils. You can get like protection oil or cleansing oil, stuff like that. They also have Florida water soap. It don't smell great. It don't soap up real good, but it works. The actual cologne smells a lot better. But I have that in the shower, and every couple of days I'm like, I'm not feeling so good today, and I'll just scrub. Pray while I'm doing it, either the 23rd Psalm or maybe the 151st or 191. I can't remember what it is, but or just a prayer from your heart, or just to get that going, and just give yourself a little cleansing every once in a while. Just brew some tea and pour it on your ass. Like that's easy as that.
Yeah, and it's really a powerful cleanser, and it's really something that will give you kind of the clean slate that you need to get your energy back. Then you can do, like, Ozma says, you can do something to fill up your cup. I mean, you're emptying your cup with hyssop, fill it up with something else. Use some rose, or use something, lavender, or something that's going to heal your heart or make you feel empowered. Cinnamon was great for giving you energy again if you're feeling depleted, all of those things. So this was such amazing talk. Do you realize it's been an hour?
Oh my God.
Believe it?
Wow.
It goes so fast. We have so much
It does.
fun. Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk one more time about the Witches Ball. And then you have another event coming up, something else that you wanted to talk about.
Yes. Well, I know someone asked earlier about getting in contact with me. You can get me through Instagram. It's at Madame Ozma. You can just send me a personal DM that way. I check them all the time. So I try to get, those out. Otherwise, my email is just simply madameozma@gmail.com. all one word. And I check those daily too. So if you have any questions or you want to do readings, I do readings with cards. They're Gypsy Witch cards, Gypsy Witch fortune telling cards.
I love those
I've
cards.
done it since, they're amazing. I will eventually do tarot. Madame Pamita's already promised to help me with this stuff. I get her other book too. and she's amazing. But yeah, I do those. I do online readings because it's way before COVID happened, because it's a little safer, I think. And I don't like people. So, but we do that. I'm trying to actually start doing them live too, or at least private, like a Zoom chat like this on one-on-one with somebody. Besides that, I do spell work and stuff for clients. And advice is free. If I can help you, I'll let you know. If I can't, I'll send you to Madame Pamita or somebody else that I know. I mean, depending on what the problem is. Besides Witches Ball, again, the Witches Ball is happening on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on Facebook. It's Facebook/Madame Ozma /Madame Ozma. And it's 8 p.m. It's being streamed through Zoom. And it's going to be on the Wednesday, the 14th, the 21st, and the 29th. And we're doing raffles. Again, for the raffle tickets, it's $5 for one entry, $3 for 10. And you can get them to me through Madame Ozma for Venmo, or for PayPal is Ozma's Witches Ball at paypal.com. And just in the notes, just write raffle. So I know, and I'll know how many to put down. There's no limit to how many you can buy, and you can keep doing it. Again, they spread over all of it. So, but do it. Donations are fine too. One more thing I'm doing is also on Facebook, and it's going to be with a very old friend from high school who I haven't seen, God, in probably 20 years. And we just started talking, and they have their own little podcast called Casually Christian, and it's Facebook/Casually Christian, not the religion. His name is just Christian. And on October 24th, I think it's around 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, you can check on the page. We're gonna have a little talk with me and my dear old friend, Christina, and we're talking about ghost photography and our opinions on it. I mean, it's the spooky season, and our opinions on it. I have a few of very classic ghost photos that I would like to get into and talk about their validity, and just, have some interesting talk about spooky stuff, for the Halloween season.
I love that. And they can catch up with you. All of this stuff, they can find it on Instagram.
Oh,
You
yes.
post often about your events and things that are coming
Oh, yeah.
up. And,
Oh, yeah.
and also, I have to say, Madame Ozma's Instagram is delightful, because sometimes you'll do some crazy lives. I look at my phone when I'm in the bathtub, which is really stupid. I know, because if I drop it, that's the end of my phone. I shouldn't jinx myself with that. But I look at my phone while I'm taking a bath, and there's Madame Ozma live, and I'm watching you live while I'm taking my bath and having my glass of wine. And
I'm doing things too. I'm usually drinking and possibly other things. So don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm a party girl. I'm a party girl.
A party girl. But I'm having my glass of wine, so I'm having a little party with you. So, no.
And tonight, I'll probably do it later tonight too with my friend Siren or a couple other friends. Maybe just stream another Zoom and just hang out. We usually drink, and we'll do shots for tips, because I mean,
know. I always feel a little guilty, because you're always pretty smashed when they're there, and I want to give you money, but I don't want to make you drink it.
Look, I'm gonna drink regardless. So I must get a little money to do it. So I must wake up like, oh, I made $60. Just I have a headache, but it was worth it.
All right. Well, Madame Ozma, it was such a delight. We're going to definitely have you on again. It was so great. And I'm going to see you on the Witches Ball. I'll be there.
Perfect.
And I'll be hanging out and watching you and enjoying the fun. And I'm definitely buying some raffle tickets. I saw it last night. I'm like, I've got to buy those raffle tickets. So I'm going to buy some raffle tickets. I don't want to win a reading with Madame Pamita, though. Can I just please have that?
If anyone wins their own prize, I'm going to go, no, look, we'll put you for the next one. We'll do that.
It was such a delight. Thank you so much, all the Spell Squad members and the new people that were here. It was so great to have you in the clubhouse here, having fun with us. We do this every Sunday, except for the first Sundays when we have the workshops, but we are going to be back next week. Next week, our guest is going to be Jessica Snow. Is that it? I think so. Jessica Snow is going to be.
Oh, I love snow.
It's going to be our guest next week. So I hope to see you there. We'll see you then. I have to get some more guests, because that's the last guest I have lined up. I better get on it. I've been crazy busy with my book stuff, so I have not been as on top of getting the new guests. So there'll be some new guests coming. Don't worry. All kinds of good things coming up. We won't stop the Q&A. We always have fun here. Great seeing all of you guys. Thank you again, Madame Ozma. I adore you. Like you are a goddess, and I adore you.
Likewise. I love you.
And every time I say to my little cat Ozma, I think of you. So I think of you and send you good wishes all the time, because my little cat, she's kind of she's a badass bitch. I'll just say that. Like some other Ozma I know. All right, love. Have a beautiful evening. We'll see you on Instagram. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week. Have a great and beautiful week. See you then. Have a gorgeous week. Love you so much. Bye.